And then remember, on this platform also, we get the foundation for you. At the introduction, we have already put it together for you. But this now want to summarize it. The criminality of colonial system, for you to understand again what we are saying, to break it down, to make it make sense, to connect it so that it will make sense to you, because we're here to make sense, just common sense. First, the colonial monsters. What did they do? They stole and hijacked the sovereignty of the once free and independent African kingdom and nations. They stole their sovereignty, recklessly mixed up and balkanized these totally different nations in such a way to stifle their voices and influence as a distinct ethnic people. So you get this person here, get this person here. Totally different people, very different in their way of life, their worldview, everything. Put them together, take away their sovereignty, mix everything together, and then balkanize them and say, you are Ogun State, you are Kwara State, you are Enugu State, you are Anambra State, you are Kano State, you are Sokoto State, you are this state, you are Nyoma State. Balkanize them, just like they did to the Africans they stole and moved to the continent as slaves. They made sure they stole their original identity. When they capture them, they put them in the ship like different cages where you put chicken. So that your neighbor, you don't even know what your neighbor is speaking, no language, you can't converse, you can't discuss. So if you're not discussing, how will you plan escape? That's how they saddled the people, moved them to where. So they stripped them. The first thing they did to the slaves was to strip them of their identity. They changed their name, they changed everything. When your identity is lost, your heritage is also lost. It was intentional. That was why they were fighting the indigenous people's names, their language, their culture, their tradition, even their spirituality. Everything had to be taken away from them, because those things will give you your identity and then connect you to your ancestral land and your heritage. They took all that and tried to give you artificial identity. That's what we on this plan say Nigeria is an artificial identity. You can't have a culture, say Nigerian culture. It does not exist because it's not original. You can't have Nigerian tradition. You can't have Nigerian language. You can't have Nigerian dressing. You can't, because it's an artificial creation. It can only have the culture of the component members. But as an entity, Nigeria has no language, no culture, no tradition. It is artificial creation. So the colonial monsters coded all these things they have done, all this criminality and thefts, as unitary constitution, the 1999 edition. Because some people say, oh, they were not there in 1999. Yeah, 1999 just they transfer what was. It's copy and paste what the colonial masters wrote. They just kept, like you get a book, you remove the back of the cover and put another one. So if it was 1960, you remove the back and put another cover. The contents remain the same. You put another back and maybe call my brother, what is all those names of those people that call themselves constitution lawyers, give them some money and say, "Yeah, come and write constitution." They're not writing nothing. They give them that, they say, "Oh, yeah, just change the cover, let's move." And those ones will collect their money. That's why you see, once they finish that project, they become very rich because they have just sold their people. So the indigenous political, community, and religious leaders are maintaining this theft and this hijack by swearing to and upholding that 1999 constitution. That's basically what Ninas is saying. Now we ask, if we say colonialism has ended, because sometimes in conversation you hear people say, why are you talking about colonialism? It has ended. Really? Has it really ended? Or you're pretending to yourself that it has ended? If he has ended, like some of you will say, people like Ruben Abati, all these all these brown envelope journalists that they talk from this side of their mouth and talk to the other side. You always see them. Today on Tuesday they will say one thing. On Wednesday they will say another one. If their wives sleep with them very well and they're happy mood, they will say the third one. Then if they eat very food and their tongue, they drink wine very well and they're happy, they say another one. You always say it. And we're saying, if we say colonialism has ended, why then are we upholding the colonial structures and systems bequeathed to us by the colonial monsters? Why? Why are we doing it? Are we agreeing with them that as Africans, we are brainless and soulless? Are we that? We are asking. This question we're asking. Are we? If we are not daft, we must begin to decode and deconstruct all colonial systems, all the structures, all of it, so we can begin to develop, build, and construct our own indigenous systems and structures that will recognize our ethnic diversities, strengths, uniqueness, and abilities. Common sense. But they say common sense is not common. Even our brother Uchemefo, he brought out a video when he was trying to talk about what IPOB has done in Southeast. IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, and Simon Ekpa, because the truth has always been there. But our politicians, community leaders, and religious leaders, again, continue to lie to themselves. They'll be going to pilgrimage to Abuja. Hey, what did Nnamdi Kanu do? Set Nnamdi Kanu free. Peter Obi will ask, I don't see what he did. How can you see what he did when he's your political thug? All of them are the same. All the politicians are the same. Just like the northerners use Boko Haram for politics. That's the same way the Southeast politicians, of course, their partners, church leaders, and some corrupt community leaders, are using these boys as political thugs to kill our people and kill their opponents. That is why it looks as if, oh, they can solve the problem. Abacha already told us that any insecurity that lasts more than 24, 48 hours, government is involved. So our brother already said that all this going on, that the community leaders, the politicians, the church religious leaders are involved. That's what Uchemefo said. You should ask them. The community leaders, the religious leaders, the politicians in Southeast are the ones that trained IPOB and unknown gunmen. They trained them and sponsored them. They equipped them, just like Boko Haram in the north was equipped by the northern politicians. But we have a strategy on the table to end all this. Nina's strategy is the best strategy against Fulani onslaught. Yes, like my sister said at introduction, Fulani is the one in charge, inherited the platform, the structure from Britain. So Fulani is a local colonizer. But Fulani had to recruit the indigenous politicians, fake religious leaders, and corrupt, very completely corrupt community leaders. So they had to recruit them, give them some oil money. That's why when you see today, they just become rich overnight. You know that they have recruited them.